again, he's been a prominent feature in this series for a number of years. He's a previous champion as well in not one but multiple categories here in the NGK UAE ProCar Championship.
And obviously he'll want to try and add the 2021-22 title to his arsenal of trophies in the case. There goes Faisalin. His first lap is a 1:46.6. That's a sighting lap, as it were, as Hilal Al-Mazroui is obviously right on the limit of what the AE86 can do. He's just banged in a 1:43.093 at the present moment. Second at the moment is Saif Al-Ameri in the 977 Porsche GT3 Cup 992, therefore the leader of the GTA category. There is the 17. Now that is the beautiful Rabdan Motorsports Toyota GT86 of Bati Al-Mazroui. One of the very talented Emirate racers who is here in the category. And that's one of the things you've got to love about the UAE ProCar Championship. You've got multiple classes on track at the same time, and there are battles within battles.
And of course we have a stellar lineup of nationalities as well. We have drivers hailing from the United Arab Emirates. We've got from neighbouring regions as well, such as Bangladesh, Russia, Cyprus, which is a new one to me here this weekend. We've got Poland, Belgium, Mexico, the UK, Scotland, Greece, and the USA. And of course France, can't forget France as well, they're on the list. And of course new to this year for the NGK UAE ProCar Championship is the addition of the Gen 5 Renault Clio Cup. They also actually run their own standalone events, which will come out tomorrow actually. They'll be running, but of course they have 4 races in a weekend. So when it comes to Gen 5 racing here, they've got to be a little bit tighter and they've got to be a little bit cleaner as well out on track, and not to, well, ruin their chances of an outright win in the Clio Cup standalone series. As we see one of them there on the left-hand side of the screen, that was Eduardo Miranda, a very young and quick Mexican driver, a very feisty driver as well from we've seen over the course of the previous NGK UAE ProCar Championship race weekends. We'll look out for him to be at the top of the field when it comes to the grid in terms of the Renault Clio Cup. Now, you'll be interested to note, you'll probably spot actually that there's 2 different Renault Clios out there, because we have a handful of Gen 5s, but we also have one Gen 3, which is Ayman Sadat, who will be driving that car, the Bangladeshi driver with the rent-to-race car there. That's the number 27. Now, that car is not in the same category as the Clio Cup. That's actually in Class 1, and actually there's quite a lot of interesting cars in that category. We've got the Honda Integra DC5, which Ricky Coomber is driving, of course, raced there last weekend for 6 hours.
We've had a spin just out of turn 18 there.
That's one of the 86s.
It is, facing in the wrong direction. Can't quite make out which one it is from that distance.
Now, yeah, we couldn't quite catch the number there, so can't comment on who that would be. Maybe if we get another shot of it there, or we see someone ping on the side of the screen there. But as we're saying here, we've got quite a lot of classes here, which Jake said before. It makes things a bit more interesting, because we got a race within a race within a race, because of course we've got the faster GTA cars, and we have the Class 1 as well, the A86s, and then the Clio Cup. And in Class 1, we have this weekend, which is new. This is actually new this season as well, is the Mini JCW Class 1 from Dragon Racing, driven by Frenchman Jahed Karim, who will be circulating in that car. Another interesting one is the Ian Roberts Praga R1. Now, it doesn't look like Ian Roberts is out on track. Hopefully we do get to see that Praga, because we have missed it both here at the Yas Marina Circuit and, of course, here at the Biodrome last year.
Now, one person that you can spot, and I've certainly seen him come into the pits just recently after doing a sighting lap, so he'll be going out again to do his qualifying lap very shortly, and that is FIA World Touring Car Racer in the WTCR category. René Munich is here in his allinkle.com Munich Motorsport Honda Civic FK7. Which is fascinating. It really does kind of add to the whole run what you brung element of this UAE ProCar Championship, and he has turned up in the very race car that he competes in the FIA World TCR Cup. That is pretty awesome, actually, and proof that, you know, in this championship you really get... There he is, in fact. You can see him on the edge of the pit lane. So René Munich is ready to go out in the very car that he raced in the 2021 FIA World Touring Car Cup, and that is pretty awesome to have a big name like René Munich show up in the UAE ProCar. Shows that this championship really is catering for all tastes and all disciplines.
And I just noticed in the back of the shot there, we saw one of the A86s parked in the, what presumably would be the penalty box just outside of Parc Fermé. Now, I wonder if that was the driver that had the quick spin. That would have been the number 72 of Ahmed Al-Majid, racing for Motor Oil here in his AE86. And, well, it looks like... oh, no, it's not him, is it? Because there's another AE86, and it looks like some damage there on the right, Jake.
I think he's hit the wall as he's gone around, so not entirely sure what the reason for that is, but it has brought out the red flags, because obviously that car is in a dangerous position on the circuit. So the red flags have come out. You can see that on the pit wall. So the session has been stopped, which is why all the cars are in position. Look at the heat haze that is coming off on the back straight there. You really can see how everybody is already very much trying to gather the car and trying to collect it. So a fascinating situation for the competitors. The red flags are out. The Orange Army is doing its job, going to work and clearing the wreckage. So already some very fast starting marshals getting the sweepers out. And the recovery truck is down there as well. We don't have a replay for you, unfortunately, because we didn't see how the incident started in the first place. But you can see just how intense it is on the back straight. The heat haze coming off is absolutely unbelievable.
Now, I'm just looking at the timing screens that we have here, and just trying to pinpoint exactly who that A86 might be. It's showing that... who is it? It is Avik Anwar, he's gone through sector 3, but he's not gone through any other sectors. He said he's completed a lap as well. And if that is the case, that's very uncharacteristic for Avik Anwar. He's a very rapid driver and minimal mistakes when he races here in the NGK UAE ProCar Championship. He entered the series last year, and well, he was on the podium in his first race, and not too long after that, he actually got his first win. And as Jake said, we got a very busy pit lane with this car. A few drivers and teams opting to well, back it into the garage because they presume actually this, as we would as well, that this might be quite a lengthy period here, because that's on what looks to be is the exit of turn 18 where they seem to have gone off, and that of course is the link between the first sector all the way onto the back straight, and that's just after turn 17. So we go down towards turn 1 through the right hander, right again through turn 2, then a quick left-right complex, and it's that turn 18 where that car has gone off into the barrier, and presumably looking at the damage and the direction he's facing, he's actually spun the car around at some point. So maybe, presumably, he was just a little bit too heavy on the accelerator going through that corner.
Well, either that or something in the car has hit the curb at the wrong moment, and perhaps something with the track rod or the push rod or something. Maybe it's ended up buckling under the strain as he's hit a curb at a certain angle. We're not entirely sure. We can only guesstimate what the situation is. We're on the international circuit, of course, for this particular race weekend. The Grand Prix circuit will be used for all of the race activities next weekend, but we're in the international circuit, which is 4.29 kilometers in length. It's complicated because this circuit on Grand Prix configuration has 16 corners. So you actually go from turn 1 to turn 2 straight into turns 17 and 18, just to confuse you. But those circuit corners are there designed to link the first part of turn 1 with that back straight. So you basically miss out all of the corners from turn 2 to turn 9. Official names for them, of course. If we had official names for them, then it would be a little bit easier to differentiate. But all the same, the drivers are obviously getting themselves up to speed. Let's talk you through the way things are at this moment in time. Obviously, the cars are currently in red flag periods on the main straight. Helal Amazroui is the current fastest with a time of 1:43.093, half a second ahead of Saif Al-Ameri. Then Amir Fizulin, Omeir Al-Maheri, and Alexandros Anivas are in the top 5 positions. Then Leo Lucas, Fabian Dufieux, Jurzik Spinkovic, the Polish driver who was in the FIA Karting World Championships a couple of years ago, Ricky Kumba, and another talented team, Eduardo Miranda. They have decided to get this session underway again, so we are back under qualifying conditions. The green flags have flown and the drivers are heading back out onto the circuit.
And yeah, as the green flag now waves on the pit lane, and of course the cars are released back on the track so they can get a few more laps in here to set the field for the first race of the NGK UAE ProCar Championship. As he said, Al-Mazuri is the man to beat at the moment with a time of 1:43.033. So he is, of course, in his Toyota GT86 in the A86 category, which is quite surprising actually to see a GT86 at the front of the field here for the time being, but in close proximity, about 5/10 of a second back, is one of the Mercedes AMG GT4 cars. Sorry, actually, no, it's not. It's the Porsche GT3 Cup 992 for Rob Dunn Motorsport with Hilal Al-Mazuri behind the wheel of that car. Amir Faisalin is 3/10 of a second, or 3.5 seconds actually, come to think of it, behind our current pole sitter here.
Yeah, worth picking up on something that a few steely-eyed viewers may have noticed. With the red flag period for qualifying, the time continued to tick down, because of course it does during qualifying.
Well, oddly enough, we got time ticking down on our screen here, and then we've got on the timing page, we have a slightly different time by the looks of it. It says 9:20 to go there, and it says 4 minutes to go. So it looks like the timing screen's got an additional 5 minutes on the clock, which of course means it's good for us because, of course, we're going to be racing or qualifying for a little bit longer here.
Yeah, that's true. I think that could well update over the course of the next few minutes, but we'll keep an eye on it, obviously, and we'll see how things are currently progressing. But as it stands at the moment in time, the leader of the session is Halel Amazroui, ahead of Saif Al-Ameri and Emir Fazulin. But now that there's limited time to be out on the circuit setting fast laps, expect the hot laps to come in from the Class 1s and the GTAs, because they're really going to start to up the ante now.
And it would be very unexpected. I'm going to admit now, if we do see one of those A86 category cars on the front of the grid, it would be a fantastic shot as well to see them. Of course, they used to run in their own category not too long ago, and are now made their way into the NGK UAE ProCar Championship. So we've got a few more drivers that have put times in. I think we've got the top 19 now have all put a time in. Stuart Hall in the 22 car has gone out. And now on my entry list, I don't have Stuart Hall. I also noticed there's another driver that we may not have on our entry list as well. There's a Frenchman towards the bottom half who's not put a lap time in for the time being.
That is Pierre Bryce Maynard.
Who's not put a lap time in yet. So let's see how this pans out. As you said, there's the time has updated on screen, so that's great news. So we do indeed have just under 10 minutes remaining on the clock here for qualifying, as we're working our way now essentially on another flying lap here before we get our proper lap times in.
Now, let's talk a little bit about qualifying laps, because here at the Dubai Autodrome, it is actually a very tricky circuit for qualifying, because the nature of this being such a dusty circuit and such a very tricky part of Dubai, because it's down in Motor City where the crosswinds really start to pick up. It can cause a real issue for the drivers. It's very difficult to actually get 2 consistent fast laps back to back.
And there does seem to be a little bit of wind out there, so there's going to be a lot of sand blowing around, because of course we are surrounded by the desert here. So you can see on the infield there is a bit of sand. Actually, no, those are rocks, aren't there? The sand's a bit further out on the outside of the track.
It's not that far away, though.
But it certainly can cause a little bit of commotion there, and it can cause cars to get loose at certain parts of the track here, as well as the two Dragon Racing GT4s work their way down towards turn 1 here on now what would be a qualifying lap here. It seems to be they're working together here, trying to pick up the toe of one another. Now I presume that's Amir Fazlin running behind the Amir Al-Mahari car. So it looks like Amir Al-Mahari is dragging, or better yet, towing Amir Fazlin around the track with him, because of course, well, those two, well, looks like now Amir Al-Mahari is now 3rd fastest on track, looking at the screen. No, sorry, yes, he is, because he's in the... Oh, there seems to be a little bit of a difference here on the NGK UAE ProCar Championship list here that I have in front of me, because it shows that the Amir Al-Mahari should be driving the 79, but that is now Amir Fazlin who's driving that car, and the 81 is being driven by Amir Al-Mahari. So a little bit of a switch there, so apologies for that. But it's now Amir Al-Mahari who is in 3rd position, just to hear of Amir Fazlin. Now we've got some more times that have been clocked in, as the 5th placed car has just gone up into 15th, and that's Eduardo Miranda in his Renault Clio Cup Gen 5. So the 28 now has moved up as well. Then that's Charlotte Simmons in the TT Racing Renault Clio Cup Gen 5 car as well, who's gone 20th fastest here. And in close proximity to her is Rahil Tanaja in 17th. He's also in his Clio Cup as well, up there. Kenny Murray is in between in the 99, currently 18th overall, as the two AMGs now have come across the line, and Amir and Amir. No improvement there, and then they've got a Clio in between the two of them. So, of course, that's Amir Fazlin who's moving around the outside of the Clio that's just come across the line there.
Well, up to the top spot, that is Aman Sadat, apparently, but with only a 42-second lap. That doesn't sound about right to me.
It certainly doesn't. It looks like he's found a quick shortcut here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's just gone down the pit lane, gone round the hairpin, turned round, come back up the pit lane, and then gone back round again. That's not exactly a fast time. That's definitely a timing error, so don't worry about that, folks. That will be corrected from the Bangladeshi. He is very quick, so it's not a massive surprise to see him at the front of the field. But with a 42-second lap around the Dubai International Circuit, That's pretty much warp speed, so I don't think you're going to see that one. Now, interestingly, that's a bailout of a lap there from Amir Fizulin. He's obviously decided, yeah, this lap isn't working. I'm going to dial myself back in and go for another fast lap. Hilal Al-Mazroui is running in second position. What about the progress of Rennie Munich? Well, he's managed to get his time up to a 1:45.978. But again, they're just feeling their way around the cars at the moment. They've still got 5 minutes, so there's still great opportunities for the drivers to really find the ultimate fast lap. But it's going to take a bit of time for them to dial in. You've got to try and get these temperatures and brakes up to a decent temperature so that you know going into those braking zones, especially here where you're slowing down, but you're also camber changing while steering. This is a very tough corner in the hairpin, and it's easy for drivers to get this wrong. We've seen it time and time again in GT racing and in single-seaters. It's so easy for the car to snap away there. There are so many undulation changes and camber changes on this circuit. It can catch out the unprepared, and even those who are able to lose it. So across the line, the two AMGs are going to come across the line together. Amir Fizulin has gone up to 5th position as he comes through. Omer Al-Maheri is now currently running in 4th place, just a whisker in front. The gap between them is only about 1.2 seconds. So it's very interesting battles at the moment. There is Rennie Munich. Now, he's going to be one to watch up at the sharp end, but he comes across the line and is only good enough for P6 at the moment. So Rennie Munich in the Honda going across the line, having an interesting time of it. What about the Clio and Toyota 86 battle? There's the 17 coming towards us. That is Butti Al-Mazroui. And the 27, that is the Clio of Aman Sadat. So the Bangladeshi contingent giving us plenty of entertainment at the moment. And you can really see how he's actually leaning on the car as he goes through turn 1. He is on a flat lap, and he really wants to get the most out of this car. And
he's managed to go another 12 seconds faster to bring his lap time down to 30 seconds now here at the Dubai Autodrome. And just looking back and reflecting on that Amir Fazlin car that was backing out of the qualifying lap there, I just think he missed the braking zone ever so slightly because he had a Clio in front of him, and obviously to ensure that he didn't go in the back of him or ruin his lap entirely, he just decided to slow down and just try again next time round. So great move there from Amir Fazlin there of the AMG GT4 car. As we continue on here with just under 3 minutes to go here at the Dubai Autodrome, it is still Ayman Sadat who is leading the field, but that doesn't seem to be the case. It should be the number 7 car, which is the Fahad Al-Zabi car, but on our screen it says something different. It says that that's being driven by Hilal Al-Mazroui, who is shown as to be in the 977. Which is being driven by Saif Al-Ameri by the looks of it, if I'm not mistaken.
It does indeed, yeah. A bit of an interesting one. So, well, there is Rea Lucas. That one is not up for debate, the Porsche driver. And Rea Lucas currently running in 9th position, but you can see again that the Porsche GT4 is really leaning into the apexes. So this could be a real fast lap for the drivers as they come through. Aman Sadat's time has not quite been corrected yet, but I'm fairly sure that the live timing team will have picked that one up and realised that that is not the actual time that Clio is setting. So it's not going to be too long before that one updates. 2 minutes to go in qualifying, and Rea Lucas does not improve the time. But again, across the line comes Aman Sadat and has now got it down to a 19.8 second lap time.
That Clio Gen 3 is absolutely flying here at the moment.
Is he in thrust 2 or what?
I have a feeling he is. I mean, he's got one headlight on, so he must be using the thrust on the other side.
Yeah, absolutely.
The power.
Oh dear, we're not trying to sound like a daisical about it, but 19.8 seconds is not a lap time you can do in any car around the Dubai Autodrome in any configuration, not even on the oval. So yeah, an interesting moment for the timekeepers there. I'm sure they'll update us as and when is needed. Right, there is Butti Al-Mazroui, who is now showing us in 24th position. So I have a feeling that a couple of lap times may have been deleted there. As it stands at the moment, we have to go by what we see on the screen. So for some reason, Ahmad Sadat is setting sub 20-second lap times. Try and figure that one out, folks. Hilal Al-Mazroui is on a 1:43.0. That's the fastest lap time that's close to the mark that we know of. Saif Al-Ameri is next up, then Omer Al-Maheri and Amir Fizulin in the GT4 Mercedes AMGs, Rennie Munich in his FIA World Touring car, Honda Civic, and then Rea Lucas, Alexandros Anivas in the Cupra TCR from Rea Lucas, and Fabian Duffieux in his AGMC BMW Racing by 3Y Technology BMW. They're based, of course, just over the road.
Yeah, they are indeed, because that's where the BMW, or sorry, AGMC is based here in Motor City, and it looks like now a couple of cars are diving into the pit lane. I think it's done and dusted. They're happy with their qualifying times here with just under 30 seconds to go, but it seems to be there's a few drivers out there who want to really push it to the limit here. And in the back shot there's Avik Anwar, and I see he's got a new livery in his car, which looks absolutely fantastic here at the Dubai Autodrome, and he is, where is Avik Anwar on our qualifying list for the time being? He's down at the end of the field. He's 22nd at the moment, so he's just outside the top 20, of course, here, but looking to improve here on one final lap here around the Dubai Autodrome National Circuit here, 4.29 kilometres in length, and the checkered flag now is officially out, so that wraps up qualifying, but there's a few more laps that we need to see come in.
Indeed, he does. So to give you an idea of Aman Sadat's actual times, apparently he's just done it in 12.4 seconds, so he can shave quite a few seconds off his lap time. According to the timing screen, he's given what most racing drivers would give their eye teeth to do, which is about take 30 seconds out of their lap time. I don't think that's going to stand somehow, but the lap he did before that was a 1:47, which is about where we would expect that car to be. So he's around about the sort of Leo Lucas and Alexandros Anivas end of the grid. That is closer to where we expected him to be. So we think that it's going to be Helal Al-Mazroui who is going to be the fastest driver from time qualifying with a 1:43.0 ahead of Saif Al-Ameri and the AMGs of Omer Al-Maheri and Amir Fazulin. Rennie Munich in the FIA World Touring Car Honda Civic, 5th fastest. I have a feeling he would have expected to be top 3 at least. So P5, that shows you how competitive this UAE ProCar Championship race is going to be.
It certainly is, but we can assume that there will be a slight reshuffle, so I think he'll be up in the top 5, won't he, when we get this all sorted out here. But that is a wrap for the NGK UAE ProCar Championship. The checkered flag flies as Eduardo Miranda now works his way across the line. Does he improve on the last lap? No, it doesn't look like he works his way up into turn 15. Turn 16 that is, and there are the results for qualifying. Amin Sadat with his 1:28.972, which is a mighty fast lap time, but I presume that will be corrected at some point. It's Helal Al-Mazroui who comes across the line in second, and he'll be lining up on the front row of the grid in second position. There is the tail end of the grid. We can see we have 25 cars racing here this weekend, which is absolutely fantastic here for the NGK UAE ProCar Championship.
Really good to see the contingent getting us up to speed, and there's going to be a plethora of the two great races that we'll see later on. Checkered Flag greets one of the Clios over the line. They'll be out racing again tomorrow, I do believe, as well, in their own standalone race. But certainly for Helal Al-Mazroui, it's a good start to the way things are currently, as he replaces Fahad Al-Zabi in the Rabdan Motorsports Toyota GT86, but he is at the front end of the timesheets ahead of Saif Al-Ameri, who takes over from Helal Al-Mazroui's Rabdan Porsche 9 GT3 Cup. Try and work that one out, folks. But that's what we've got in front of us. The 27 comes in. That's Aman Sadat in the R2 race, Renault Clio Cup Gen 3. The Class 1 machine is a quick machine, but it's not quite as quick as the timing screens have given it. They have now corrected it, by the way, I should point out, and that car is classified as 22nd, according to what I've got in front of me. So you may just have to take that with a pinch of salt. And when we get to the racing later, we will obviously have the accurate starting positions on the grid as it is meant to be for the race that comes up later today, which is of course going to be 25 minutes, and it will take place at 2 p.m. local time, at 2:55 I should say local time, and then the second race of the day, which will be race 5 on the program, that'll be at 5:40 local time. So still a bit of a way until we get back to the NGK UAE ProCar Championship races. The F4 Championship is coming up next, and obviously we will return to the action at Dubai Autodrome at the NGK UAE Championship in a short while. But next up, it is the F4 UAE Championship.